From Abuja, the nation's capital, this is Matters Arising, coming to you live from the studio of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, commonly referred to as KAFTAN Television. Matters Arising is the flagship talk show program of KAFTAN TV that features in-depth discussions and analysis of topical and trending national as well as international issues by our team of seasoned broadcast journalists. My name is Macualey Hunohashi, saying thanks for joining us tonight.
And I am John Okoro. Welcome to the program.
We welcome you to today's show, which promises to be engaging, incisive, and interactive. You can also be a part of the conversation by calling our phone number 00299-38365, which will be displayed on your screen later in the course of the show. John, today is Monday, beginning of the new,
working week.
And how did it go with you before, right through the afternoon to this moment?
It's been great. Today is a public holiday in Nigeria.
Yeah, it is.
At the festival of Eid al-Maulud, Nabi. So, the way it is here in the country, once it's public holiday, that people will stay at home, especially those in the public and organized private sector. And then for those in the media like us and business people in the informal sector, you have to be out there to make a living. But it's been a great day. The rains too.
The rains too, yes, exactly. But in spite of the groanings Nigerians are making, against the backdrop of the increment of the pump price of fuel, everything seems to be normal. Nigeria can trust Nigerians. Nigerians can be resilient. They can also wait through hardship and things like that.
In the wide ocean of despair,
yes,
Nigerians will always find an island of hope.
Exactly.
No matter how it is.
I like that. It sounds very, very poetic, like Evelyn would always say. That's on a lighter mood. And now to our topic of discussion tonight, which is on the rollout of petrol by the Dangote Refinery and the politics of pricing. The much expected lifting of petrol from the Dangote Refinery has commenced on Sunday, that's yesterday, September 15, 2024. According to the NNPCL, about 70 trucks took the supplies of 16.8 million liters of PMS. However, while the lifting of fuel from the Dangote Refinery has been hailed as a giant stride in solving the problem of supply, the issue of lower pump price for the product still remains a mirage. A statement by the NNPCL, widely circulated on Monday, that's today, said that petrol across its retail outlets will now sell at 950 naira per litre in Lagos, 992.22 naira per litre in Abuja, the federal capital, 1,019.22 naira in states like Borno, among others. NNPCL claimed that this latest increase in pump price was predicated on the fact that payment for September's offtake of petrol from Dangote Refinery was made in US dollars, amounting to the naira equivalent of 898 naira per litre. Adding that naira transactions will only commence on October 1st, 2024. The lack of transparency in product pricing agreement between the NNPCL and the Dangote became even more apparent on Sunday. The NNPCL had announced that it purchased petrol from Dangote at a cost of 898 naira per litre, but moments later, the Dangote Refinery issued a statement refuting the claim without giving any detail on the actual cost of its product. Rather, it advised Nigerians to wait for the final decision on the matter by the Technical Committee on Pricing set up by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is expected to make an announcement on October 1st. While the back and forth continues, Nigerians are currently buying petrol at higher prices never seen in the history of the country. The impact on the economy is equally unprecedented as the cost of living continues to soar on a daily basis. There is an urgent need for government to do something now to arrest the situation before it gets out of hand. John, the situation is already out of hand. Because I know of so many people across the country that have even parked their cars.
Yes.
They can't afford the current price of fuel. You can imagine, this is official price we're talking about, at 1,019 naira. But I bet you, I've heard so many people, I've made phone calls as a journalist to find out the pulse of Nigerians, the feelings of Nigerians, what is confronting them. People are buying it at above 100 and 1,100, 1,200 places.
1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 1,800.
You talked about despair earlier on.
Yes.
Nigerians are despondent.
Nigerians
are angry.
At least, for you to see Nigerians moving about, going about their normal businesses every day, and you see people still driving into filling stations to pay for fuel, it still means that in this wide ocean of despair, we still find ourselves at least comforted, within the small island of hope. And that's how it's been. That's why, despite the fact that Nigerians have stretched and stretched and stretched, even the range of this elastic that we've been stretching, it has continued to expand to the point that maybe it might just give in at any time. That is why it's still important at a time like this that the government should actually, do something. They should come to the party, because it seems like the government has actually come to the party. All this while, it's like, why do people continue to groan over this? You see, this continuous increase of fuel price, and ironically, what everybody has been saying today, especially when this new price band came out, it's like, okay, you have been selling imported fuel even at a lower price. Exactly. Because in that same Lagos, imported, yes, and now a fuel refined in Nigeria is now being sold at a higher price, even to the point that the NNPC sells at what I might call a control price, and because they are directly taken from Dangote Refinery, which they claim that they bought at the rate of 898 naira, paying in dollars. Then if you now translate it into the equivalent in naira, it is now 898 naira. So you imagine now in Abuja, they say the control price is 922 or 992 thereabout. Then if you go to the far north, like in Borno in the northeast, it's about 1,019 naira. That's the control price. But I bet you.
Well, I thought you bet me. Let's take this caller. You are our first caller tonight, and this is Matters Arising. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from the program. I don't even know that I'll pay people. I don't know why I'm not getting your station in my Startimes again. What happened?
Well, it's quite unfortunate. It could be a technical glitch between you and Startimes. Have you subscribed? Have you renewed your subscription?
My subscription is even expiring next month.
Well, I don't know, because we don't work with Startimes. We are KAFTAN television officials, and maybe you need to contact Startimes.
Okay, what is the program on now?
The problem?
The program that is on now.
Oh, you're not watching it?
I'm not watching it. I just try. See, let me just try if I will be connected to it.
Okay, what's your name? From Otopo?
Yeah, Collins.
Okay, Collins, come from Otopo. We are discussing, we're taking a look at the Dangote Refinery and the politics of pricing in Nigeria. We start...
The issue, yes. That issue, I was like, that is why I've been calling this one. The issue is this.
Yes.
This government, when they came, like, normally I don't really call that. I don't believe in manifesto. But the manifesto the present government gave to us is not working out.
Okay.
Now, from the previous government, we happen to see that cabals do not allow certain things to go well. And if you look to it, there is the same cabal, the marketers, that are earning what they are gaining, and the masses suffered lost. Is what we are still facing. Okay, if you look to Dangote, like this morning when I was watching the newspaper headline, they say Dangote is selling fuel for them at the rate of 898 naira.
Yes.
But I happen to see that it's not selling up to that extent. So if you look to it, I don't know where we are going. That is why many times I do ask, can we get it right in democracy? You look to it now. Even everything we have been talking of, even the previous government, what they have done wrong, there is nothing that was said about it. Look at the case of this man, the aviation minister of the last regime, in which we happen to see that the jet we say that belongs to Nigeria is from Senegal, and up to date that jet was returned back to them and our name was claimed from it. Nothing came out. So I don't know exactly where we are going. We can't get headway with this democracy of it. National Assembly, they are not saying anything that will give the masses their best of anything. Okay, look at the protest now. Look at the people they arrested, on innocent people suffering, no billing. No. Things are not going well. Things are not going well. I just pray God should just help us. If we continue like this, something will happen one day.
Thank you, Collins, for your perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for calling in. Collins is, he has made his point, and I must state it here clearly that democracy is the best form of government. We'll continue like this. We're going to crawl, we're going to totter, we continue to disagree and agree until we get it right.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, so I must make that clear. But before we go ahead, let's take this caller. Good evening. This is Matters Arising live from KAFTAN Television. Please go ahead. Your name.
Good evening.
Good evening. We can hear you. You're too low, sir.
This is Prince Marcus Ukukere.
Okay, Prince Marcus, go ahead with your contribution. From where?
Okay. Sir, actually, we did not know what is going on. Now, price of petrol, we have a refinery, our own personal refinery, which belongs to this country. At present, we don't know whether they spend a lot of money for the rehabilitation. Today now, we are not hearing anything coming from the refinery, which one is at Warri, one is at Port Harcourt, and one is at Kaduna. What is happening to those refineries? And how we are not depending on a private person who is marketing for himself gain.
He's a businessman.
Please, we should try. We should try. The masses are suffering. People are dying. We should try. The president should listen to the yearning of the masses.
Okay.
So that he can bring the top price down, because all commodity, the price are skyrocketing every day.
Okay.
Why all these things?
Thank you.
We want peace in this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prince Collins. John, someone said something in the afternoon. I was speaking with him. He said he's brimful of optimism that the pump price will drop drastically. But, he said that is the reason why the NNPCL is saying they are paying in dollars this time around. That is the September price. But in October, they are going to start paying in Naira.
Buying Naira.
And it's because they're going to be buying Naira. And it's because NNPC said it's being owed $6 billion debt. They have a debt of $6 billion to settle. So with this arrangement now, it is expected. That's his suspicion, the guy I spoke with. It is his suspicion that perhaps they want to offset that debt that they owe between now and October before we can begin to see a drastic reduction in the pump price.
Well,
I don't understand.
Me too, I don't understand. Because if we say that you have deregulated the sector, I think it is expected that all the players in the sector should be able to have a level playing ground in terms of purchase. So why do we still have the NNPC serving as the off-taker of this Dangote's refineries fuel? That's why I don't understand, because ordinarily I've heard people saying that if the marketers are even allowed to go straight to Dangote and load the fuel, that all this issue of price going up to 1,000 as a control price in some parts of the country is not going to arise, because no matter, I know that the depot price, even if Dangote had bought, using the benchmark of the international crude, buying from outside the country and so on and so forth, but these things are refined here.
They are refined here.
Okay.
Let's take this caller. Hello. Good evening. This is Matters for Rising from KAFTAN Television.
Good evening.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I wanted to make a small comment concerning this topic that we are discussing about.
Go ahead.
Refinery.
Go ahead. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
My name is Dauda.
Dauda from
Abuja.
Abuja. Okay, go ahead with your contribution to this issue.
The politics behind this refinery to Nigerians, Dangote doesn't want to tell the Nigerians the truth of what is happening between his deal and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because he cannot tell us that he's going to sell a refined product to Nigerians, Nigerian Petroleum Commission Company Limited, for them to sell to a marketer. He is a businessman. Why can't he meet an independent marketer and start lifting the crude oil to them? Last week, the Depot Association of Nigeria, through a human rights radio, a letter linked to that which they sent to President, that Dangote is coming to play a monopoly and make them their margin not to be given to them. So if he really wanted to help a Nigerian, why is he selling it to NNPC? What happened with the other margin that is gaining from the other byproduct of the crude oil? He has been part of the government from the beginning. So if he's ready to help Nigeria from this quagmire of buying petrol at 1,200 naira, it's not fair.
Okay.
When he came out to say that Nigeria are frustrating his effort after building a refinery, even saying he wants to give it to NNPC. So is it the giving up to NNPC that he has done now? It's not fair.
Thank you.
He is not importing it in dollar anymore, according to what they said.
Yeah.
So if he's ready to help the Nigerians, let him tell us the truth. If he's not ready to help the Nigerians, let him continue suffering the Nigerians, because he has the capacity to help this country.
That's right.
I watched his manager, his GMD on NNPC, the Indian man, when he was telling about Dangote feeling about Nigeria. So if today we are buying a PMS from his refinery inside Lagos, that even the equalization and the transportation has not been, is not supposed to be up to 10 naira.
Okay, thank you, Dauda.
So there is no help for that, please.
Thank you, Dauda. Talking about complicity, John, I've listened to all of them that spoke yesterday at the depot when they were lifting. Dev Kumar, that's the vice president of Dangote. Dev Kumar Edwin. Dev Kumar Edwin evaded the question of lower price.
How much?
Even the minister of Wale Edo, the minister of finance, and the coordinating minister of the economy evaded. That was the last question that was
put to him.
Was thrown at him. He waved it. He waved it aside and walked away.
Exactly. We mean there's no truth. There's no truth in the world. And there's no truth here about the whole thing. People love using the word opaque. That the whole written about the sector is opaque. And you can see it playing out now. Because I don't know why Dangote, despite this is your business, but you can't refine your fuel and drink it. You refine your fuel and sell to people. And people are interested in knowing how much you sell, then you keep mute. You understand? You ask government, now the end government will now come with a press statement, oh, this is how much, without telling the people the truth. And what they are now saying, that is because what they are selling now was purchased in dollars. And they bought it from the Dangote in dollars. So from October 1, then there's a committee said, why would a government, if you say, because I keep on using that word, because you told us that this sector had been deregulated. If the sector had been deregulated,
again, we have lost him earlier. Hello, sorry for we lost you earlier. Go ahead. This is Matters Arising. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Hello, KAFTAN TV. This is Moses from Macualey.
Okay, Moses from Macualey. Go ahead, please. It's your show.
I always say every time that what is playing in Nigeria is purely politics.
Okay.
How can Ford being Refinery and NNPC be the major buyer to sell back to Nigeria? What makes them not to build Nigeria's price from last year they removed subsidy? Mr. Tinubu know what he's doing, and one day God will ask him a question. And he was the one that protesting in the time of Kolo Jonathan when fuel was 19 naira. Today, here in the Akwa Ibom, we buy fuel at the filling station 1,350 naira.
Yes.
And we say our governor say yes, we don't prove it. Things is hard in this part of the world more than whatever we can think of. So nothing is better here. If anybody takes the Akwa Ibom, it's okay. It's purely politics. Our government is deceiving us here. Nothing works here. We are dying.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you. Okay, you are on a line of thoughts.
No, I was saying, if you say we have deregulated the sector, why would there even be a presidential technical committee on pricing? Why would there be, which we are expecting to say something in sometime in October, maybe October 1. First, then they will tell us that they have now brought down the price of fuel. Is that a deregulated sector? It's not. So I think there's something wrong here that no one is telling anybody anything. Exactly. The only thing that we see and we know is that every day you wake up in the morning, you see prices, the pump price going up the more. And the more this pump price, the more it goes up, then the more the hardship continues to buy, as if you are tightening the knots on the people.
Exactly. You're right, John. But let's take this caller. Good evening. This is Matters Arising Live. Your own, please.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. We can hear you loud and clear. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay.
I'm a busy by name.
Go ahead with your contribution.
I think the truth should be told because there's something fishing in this country.
Yeah.
One, why should the NMPC should decide the price of Dangote Refinery?
The question you keep asking, John.
He is a businessman. And at the same time, he should be the one to decide the price of the product.
Could you turn down the volume of your TV set, sir? Then we'll continue obeying.
Okay. Because as a businessman, we should not allow another person to come out and decide his price that he will sell. The marketing should be open to everybody that feels to come and purchase. So that when you buy, you go and sell the way you feel you make something out of it. See the way people are dying in this country. It's getting out of hand. You hardly see a family that will feed 3 times a day this time around. Because everybody knows that the fuel is one of the things that hold the economy of this country. Because once you buy anything from any part of the country, you must add the transportation fee of it.
Yes.
And by the time you add all these things, it's not everybody who will be able to afford to the price.
Okay.
And what Mr. President should know that the people are the ones that vote him in. And he should have mercy for mercy. People are dying.
Yeah.
The past government that ruled before him, things are not this way. Because the reason is this. One, the masses have nothing to benefit from government apart from maybe you apply on the road. Two, they should allow that subsidy to go. They should remove it out of.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
people will
Obezi.
now be able to.
Thank you, Obezi. Thank you, Obezi, for your contribution. John, when I listen to government officials and even Dangote group officials, their pontification sounded like, an attempt to walk through, to speak to a rehearsed script. Because if you listen to Dev Kumar Edwin, the vice president of the Dangote group, he deviated from the main issue to create headlines for newspapers. He was talking about availability, where he talked about supply
problem being solved, and they can take to
off-takers can apply for pipelines to be laid, if possible, like that. And the minister coordinating minister of the economy, Wale Edun, also talked. He evaded the talk about the drop in price and talked about smuggling, that this thing, the availability will curb smuggling and things like that. That is not what Nigerian wants to hear. The ordinary Nigerian, who is the end user of this product, that has multiplier effects on everything that affects life, wants to hear about drop in price. Before you say something, John, let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising live from KAFTAN Television. Go ahead. We have lost the caller, John. You are in the line of thought.
Yes, exactly. It's the same thing. So it doesn't make sense. In Nigeria, we have a way with words. In the Nigerians, we call this beating about the bush. Beating about the bush. You are just beating about the bush. You are not hitting, because everybody yesterday when they say, "Oh, Dangote has started lifting," people are expecting to hear something good. It didn't come from. In fact, there's some kind of joke going around the social media where it's like a drama, Somebody now asks Dangote, "How much do you sell?"
Yes.
Dangote answers, DM me. Now send me a DM. If you want to know how much I said, send me a DM. Which is funny. So people are already sarcastic and making caricature of it, because that's where we have found ourselves. So anytime you see government try to issue a statement like from the NNPC, you hear they will be quoting the PIA. Meanwhile, did the PIA say that NNPCL should continue as a monopoly? Is there anywhere that the PIA stated that? What the essence of the PIA was to unbundle the NNPC and make sure that that particular sector is liberalized, so that the sector can be very viable. People can come and invest in that sector, and over a period of time, nobody will be complaining about price issues anymore. But today, here we are still, saying the same thing. Nothing has changed. It still beats logic how fuel refined in Nigeria will be more expensive than fuel that you bought here. Even if you say you paid in dollars in purchasing this fuel for September, what about the landing cost? Did you also pay for landing costs?
Exactly.
Did you also pay for landing costs?
Exactly.
Did you also, or are we also talking about the issue of, are we talking about the forex differentials now, or landing costs, or some of this issue? We're not talking about them. So why would the fuel refined in Nigeria be more expensive than the fuel imported?
Exactly. So let's take this caller. Good evening. Hello. This is Matters Arising. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
Good evening. I'm Justin Akilawo.
Akilawo.
From Ilaje local government.
Ilaje. That's Ondo State, have you?
Ondo State.
Yeah. This issue we are discussing.
Yes, sir.
We have been on this matter for years. I think some people have talked about why are we not maintaining refineries we've gotten in all the while. If it is not Dangote refinery, but now that is the problem we are having in the country. I didn't mean we've maintained the one we've gotten on ground. The issue of Dangote, we will not capitalize on Dangote. And since we have allowed Dangote to have his own refinery, automatically it's going to decide for us. We cannot never decide for him. And we want the federal government to ensure that other refineries are maintained, so that
we not only have one person in the market, so that we have enough supply of fuel to Nigeria.
Okay.
Because fuel, the price of fuel determines the price of commodities in the market. The man want to go to Lagos now from Edo State, have to travel some kilometers to get goods from Lagos down to Edo State. If it is 30 naira before, because of increase in price of fuel, that means the demand will also increase the price of his transportation. And if this man or woman gets to his or her destination, he has to increase the price of the commodity. So the price of fuel determines the price of commodity. And what you depend on is it not commodities? You want to buy rice, you want to buy this, you want to buy this, you want to buy this. Both importation of food items. And the major concern of human being in life is the tummy, that is the stomach, our number one priority. So the government, and another problem we have in this country is that if a president come up today to be on throne for another 4 years, after leaving that place, the next president that will come will not work on what they left on ground. Why are these refineries not working? They are caused by all our political leaders, starting from the president. Let's call it spade a spade. We only have abandoned things in our country. And maybe we've woken up all these things. All the problem we're having today will not come to life. Thank you, Presenter. God bless you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Akulawo from Ondo State. John, this issue, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This issue borders on national interest and national security because it has to do with our mainstay of the economy. Everything is tied to it. But something is not adding up in terms of communication, because we want to hear, flawless communication without impediments, without noise, without gaps. I've not heard till this moment, I've not heard from the Minister of Petroleum State. I've not heard from the Minister of Petroleum Gas. I've not even heard from the Minister himself, who is the President of the country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I've not even heard the verbosity of Macualey, who is always, always in front of the cameras, talking to the press, who is, media friendly. He always wants to talk, but this time around, the people that appeared there was only the Minister of the Economy, the Finance Minister who spoke. We didn't want to hear from the Minister of Finance. We have not yet arrived at the level of making money for the country. That's when we need the Minister of Finance to come and talk to us when revenues are already accruing to the country. But we're talking about communication. We're talking about issues, communication that will placate frayed nerves, that will douse tension. Communication that is persuasive, that is convincing, strategic communication that will take Nigerians along. That is the kind of thing we want to be hearing at this point. I don't know what.
Well, that is it. I think even when they do communicate, anytime they attempt to communicate, they will not even communicate in clear terms where people can actually comprehend what they're talking about. The worst thing you can hear now from them, if ever they will say anything, is that government doesn't have any hand in fixing prices anymore, that the sector has been deregulated. But every activity within that sector doesn't show a sector that has been deregulated. It shows a sector that is tightly controlled by serious monopolism, which is also affected by the state itself using the instrumentality of the NNPCL, and it's a very big problem.
Okay, let's take this caller again. Good evening, this is Matters Rising live from KAFTAN TV.
Good evening.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
My name is Godwin, calling from Macualey State.
Godwin, you're a regular caller. We appreciate your perspective. Anytime you call in, please go ahead. It's your show.
Thank you so very much. I want to start by saying that this is a very nice time to be a Nigerian.
Okay.
We are really in the midst of things when we are talking about this Dangote Refinery. Why am I saying that? The NNPCL said that they bought fuel from Dangote at 898 naira. And you, as Dangote, you are coming out to refute the claim.
Yes.
And I read in between lines. I don't see where he clearly stated that this is the amount that he sold his fuel to them. Now, my question is,
NNPCL is an individual, not a government owned as far as that end is concerned, added to their acronyms. And now Dangote also is a businessman too. Why not come out and tell Nigerians, this is how much I am selling fuel to these people so that we can know what is happening? But nevertheless, we are still believing that we are going to have a better part of democracy as far as refinery has started working in this country. Thank you. Let's keep pushing. We will have a better democracy as far as Nigeria is concerned.
Thank you. Thank you, Godwin, for your optimism.
Talking about refineries now, it was still on this program that some time ago when government said that the Port Harcourt refinery will start operations this month, September. Today is 16th. In the next few days, this month will be over. No one is saying anything anymore about the Port Harcourt refinery. In fact, the latest I heard, the last I heard of it was kind of a media party by some experts somewhere in Warri, where people were saying, some people who have information, who have knowledge of the refinery in Port Harcourt, now were saying that everything has been taken care of there in terms of rehabilitation, but there still remains some little things to be taken care of, and the government doesn't want the refinery to start and then stop again. So that's why there's a delay in the Port Harcourt refinery taking off. It's okay, so be it. Now everybody's focusing on Dangote's refinery. Dangote is a businessman.
He's a businessman.
That's why if you operate in an environment that is deregulated, ordinarily the issue of market forces will come to play. Because whether you are sourcing your supply from local manufacturers, refiners, or whether you are sourcing from outside the country, what happens is that when you now come to the market, whatever price band you want to display, it is now left for the customers to choose where they want to choose.
Exactly the same with communication.
It's like what happened in communication. You see, so there's something about this industry, the oil industry, that Nigerians are not aware of. That secret is only known between those
to them
who are there.
Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising Live. Hello?
Hello?
This is KAFTAN Television, Matters Arising Live. Go ahead, we can hear you loud and clear. Hello, are you there? Hello? Hello, we can hear you. Okay. Okay. Good evening. Go ahead, please. Your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, I was calling from
Could you please help us to turn down the volume of your TV set so that you can continue? You will be audible.
Okay, sir. I want to talk about the Dangote Refinery.
Go ahead.
About the... Okay, sir. So, this refinery, what they are talking about the Dangote Refinery, is it Dangote is the president of Nigeria, which everybody was focused on Dangote Refinery, which we are federal government is supposed to put all the refinery for both the Port Harcourt and refinery so that everybody can get fuel at the cheaper price. But now everybody wants depends on Dangote just like a president in Nigeria. Somebody who owns his own business, he can sell any amount that he likes. No federal government will control him. That he will decide they will decide what to sell to Dangote. No, because he owns his own business as a personal business. If Dangote they want to federal government want to set their own refinery. They have power to control on their own from the refinery from Nigeria, not from Dangote. It's a separate business. Dangote is just like a private depot. Nobody will decide what you will sell. Dangote was trying to get the Nigeria so that we can have enough fuel so that things will come down. But the way things must be now, people want to decide for what Dangote is supposed to do. It's not fair like that. They should leave the Dangote alone and work with the Port Harcourt refinery, work with Warri refinery. Then from that, government will not decide how for them to sell. Any people will go to federal and demand that government will work Port Harcourt refinery and work with Warri refinery. From that, both of them will debate
and sell the trust whatever they want for Nigeria, not Dangote. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your perspective.
Do you know that if we had visionary leaders who they would have foreseen what will happen today 20 years ago when the democracy was still at its infancy, by today we will not be having this problem, because by today we would have had this nation saturated by refineries of different hues and make, including the modular types. But today we are still in the same place, groping in the dark about the same situation that we should have taken care of 20 years or more ago. So it is symptomatic of the lack of visionary leadership in this country. That is it. That's why we have just come to a stop, because as we see us now in this country, we have just come to a kind of stop. You know,
and when you look at, when you watch TV, particularly the major networks in Nigeria, you see almost all the sectors of the Nigerian economy celebrating their achievements, their so-called success stories through documentaries, including the Nigerian Air Force. I'm not deriding any particular sector, but it's the truth we're talking about here. Our duty as journalists is to set agenda by making it plain and bare. You know, they celebrate, you know, what they call success story. You know, building on what you just said, it is disheartening that 20-something years after this democratic journey, because of lack of vision, we are still talking about refinery. We have not been able to even revamp or refurbish the existing ones. Like the one in Kaduna, someone was telling me yesterday, he was even about swearing that it can function at optimal level, but it just left there and, you know, to be seen to be moribund. But they are paying salaries, they are collecting money. It will amaze you if someone is retiring from Kaduna Refinery, how much he's going to take home. It's enough for him to build a mini estate, what he's taking home. But for 20 years, that's 2 decades, he has not even worked there, because the refinery has never produced one cup of fuel. Let's take this caller. Hello, this is Matter Reason live from KAFTAN Television. Please go ahead, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Matthew. I'm calling from Benue State.
Benue, you are a regular caller. Matthew, we appreciate you whenever you call. Go ahead, please, sir.
Thank you. The matter you are discussing is a very serious matter.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
And with the way things are going, it is obvious that these guys are just messing around with Nigerians. Now, if you watch the press, is it the press release?
The interviews.
The Minister of Finance, yes, and the Dangote Deputy whatever made this today. Just watch their body language. You see how they played with the intelligence of the journalists that were asking them questions. Direct questions that were meant for them to answer, they swindled it and went away. Right. Now, if Nigerian government say they want to sell for a particular price, Dangote say no, you are not agreeing with that price. Tell us how much you want to sell your fuel. You own the refinery. Nigeria is not the government is not the owner of the refinery. Why are you shying away from telling Nigerians the truth? Now, I tell you this for free. KAFTAN TV is one of the best news TV in this country today. And I believe the whole country, 90% of Nigerians will be watching this program now. Now, these NNPC stations, these are refineries in Warri, Kaduna, and Port Harcourt. I am telling you, it's a deliberate act for them not to be revamped. It's a deliberate act because there are some few people who are running this sector. And that is why they don't want other people to come in, just as you said the other time. Now, what is difficult for the government of Nigeria to call those guys in the Niger Delta who have their personal refinery, local refineries, who have what is difficult for the government to call them and let them go through a process and issue them license, so that we will have fuel, we will have petrol or gas coming from every angle, not from only one particular person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew, for your perspective. John, like Matthew, I think I agree with Matthew. Nigerians have every reason to be doubtful and cynical about policies of government because of the experiences of the past. Like you said earlier, there's no transparency and the communication is not straightforward. everything is shrouded in secrecy. Before you say you react to that, let me take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising live from KAFTAN Television. Go ahead, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good evening. This is Adeleke calling from Ogun State.
Beg your pardon? I can hear you.
Adeleke calling from Ogun State.
Okay, Adeleke from Ogun State. Go ahead.
Yeah. My opinion is just that this on my own opinion, I would say I'm not really interested in that Dangote refinery.
Okay, why not? You know the Nigerian.
You know that Dangote is a businessman.
Yeah.
I know what really is happening in the oil industry. You see, the government has a weak point. He knows what is happening in the oil industry. The Kaduna refinery is not working. He said they've been on it for years now. The Port also is not working. So he knows that the government cannot do the refinery, so he has to monopolize the industry. I don't know the reason why Dangote cannot come out clearly and tell Nigerians how much he's selling the price. I heard that people asking him how much the price is, and he is waving the question.
Thank you. Adeleke. Thank you, Adeleke, for your perspective. It beats my imagination. Something just crossed my mind before you said something. NPCL said they have a debt of 6 billion naira to settle. Dangote used a paltry 20 billion naira to set up this refinery that is creating so much problem. Go ahead with your perspective.
I'm looking at it from people. The question that has been on the lips of Nigerians is, why is it that it's difficult for Dangote to name its price? In terms of difficult? So second guessing, I feel that Dangote, I'm second guessing him. I'm not saying that this is, but I'm just trying to second guess the educated guess. Maybe because of what he's gone through in the past 1 year. His refinery was actually launched just at the twilight of the Buhari's administration. Yes. And so it took like a year after the official launching for this refinery to start operation. So I feel that maybe he doesn't want to be in the eye of the storm. When Nigerians will start, maybe criticizing him that he's selling at a high price. Maybe he does it. But currently now he's he's already in the eye of the storm as we speak now. For the wrong reason. So it's better for the Nigerian authorities to start looking inward and do what? And increase the capacity of local refining by rehabilitating and bringing to life all these dead refineries.
Are they dead?
Yes.
I like that.
Bring them to life. And it's possible. We are aware that work has been ongoing in Port Harcourt to bring this to rehabilitate the Port Harcourt refinery. We are very much aware of it. So we want these to continue. We also want them to go. Okay.
John, hold your thoughts. Let's take this caller. Good evening. We're fine. And you? Are you okay?
The issue of Dangote refinery and the pricing.
Okay.
We have to be very frank with ourselves. The government is making it difficult for Nigerians. If the president of this country, who is the Minister of Petroleum, cannot rehabilitate the 4 refineries in this country under 1 year, and Dangote can build a new refinery for 2 years, then what are we telling ourselves? They just want us to suffer, but God is watching them. As a president, you made yourself a petroleum minister, and you cannot rehabilitate 1 refinery under 1 year and some months. Even if you want to build a new refinery, it can be built within 1 year. But to rehabilitate 1 refinery, he cannot do it. And this is the Minister of Petroleum. And they are talking about the price of that refinery. ISO has been regulated by removing the oil subsidy. Why don't they allow Dangote to sell his product as they want to sell it? Why are they dictating for him? Because they want us to suffer. But God is watching them. The first thing that we know in life is that one day all of us must go down 6 feet. And let's see what will happen at the end of the day. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so very much. Continue, John.
No, we have to start thinking about that. There's no reason for us to be here where we find ourselves in terms of this issue of price, and because a nation blessed, with these natural resources. So why is that we are here? It's still because of the lack of leadership. That's why we are here. And with the hues and cries of Nigerians, but it seems like it's falling on deaf ears. It's like when you pour water on the stone, it doesn't penetrate. Because if not, for a year, Nigerians have been groaning, Nigerians have been crying, Nigerians have been crawling, Nigerians have been dying. Yet, there hasn't been any serious response from government to ameliorate and cushion this particular situation. Nothing has ever happened. So,
hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising live from KAFTAN Television Studios in Abuja. Go ahead, please, your name and where you're calling from.
Matthew, once again from Benue.
Matthew, it's your show. Go ahead with your contribution.
I want to ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government that why is it that since this issue came up, we've not had anything reasonable from the Minister for State for Petroleum. Yeah. Now, if the President of Petrol, the Minister of Petrol, who is the President of the country, cannot talk, won't he delegate the Minister for State for Petrol to talk to Nigerians? Now, you can imagine what happened, that the Minister of Finance is the one in Dangote's refinery trying to tell Nigeria what he doesn't know. Now, imagine what is happening if these people say the landing cost of fuel is so amount of money. Dangote is no longer going to pay for any landing cost. So if Dangote really want to sell the price fuel to Nigerians, automatically Dangote had it in mind that he will sell that fuel maybe 500 naira or less than that. But because the powers that be, the people benefiting from this useless and wicked act all these years, know that if Dangote pushes his product into the market, their business will collapse. That is why they are hijacking this whole thing. I'm saying this clearly to Nigerians to know. Good night, sir.
Good night, Matthew. Very beautiful perspective. And I believe to add to what Matthew said, Dangote is a businessman. He is in this industry, in this business rather, to make money, to make profit. And he has to thread carefully, working at cross purposes with government officials. Government is the one that gives you the license. Government is the one that will give you the land. Government is the one that will give you the waivers for anything that you want to import. It's government that wants to give you, that will give you, they provide the crude that we use, because you don't have your crude. Government will provide the crude for you to refine, and come out with the final products. To my mind, I believe Dangote, has to also tread, with caution, using wisdom for him to survive. It is a murky water of politics, mixed politics and business. He has to find a way of surviving it.
I understand that, but if we must also go that particular route, what we're also saying is that what we're practicing here is no more democracy. It's no more free market capitalism. We are almost going into a kind of socialism. If an investor is now going to be held hostage by the system, then which means, because we're talking about Dangote, just one individual. Do you know that Nigerians, foreign direct investors, have the capacity to build even more of this kind of Dangote refineries? But if you look at the business terrain now, that way you don't have the enabling environment. So the simple truth here, whether we like it or not, is that government, because the oil industry is the goose that lays the golden egg. So they don't want to let go of this industry. So that is the bane of the problem.
Let's just call John. We'll come back. We'll take our final thoughts in 40 seconds each. Go ahead. We are on to Matters Arising live. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Good Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is from Abuja.
Okay, go
My
ahead.
name is Innocent.
Innocent, go ahead.
Yes, I love you people program. You are doing well.
Thank you. We appreciate you for calling in.
Yeah. You people are fine a lot.
Thank you.
Also, something I wanted to comment in this Dangote refinery.
Okay, go ahead.
What I look at is Dangote is a businessman.
Yes.
But this, our government, our leaders, they are not straightforward. They are not straightforward at all. They are not helping their people. I don't know why things. Okay, Dangote, Dangote, why our refinery, those refineries that we have, if they are sincere, and the cabals and all those people, both the National Assembly, those ones that represent people there, they are not. I don't know what is happening with this our country, Nigeria, happening with our leaders. Because most of them now, like the president now, he have all the military are surrounding him. When anybody wants to make anything now, you see him will come with the security to DSM will come to arrest you, this one will come to arrest you. But one day they should know that God that's above every other people. God is surely going to judge them, and they're going to pay for all the suffer they are putting people. Because God give us all these things with his own good heart, but they are just destroying the system.
Thank you. Thank you. John, we are so endowed as a nation and as a people, both humanly and, in terms of natural endowments. Here we are crawling, like you said, struggling, tottering on spindly legs, trying to survive. And you can, I've met someone yesterday who described Nigeria as rudderless, that is directionless, that is visionless, is clueless, and in the midst of plenty that ought to accrue to make life better for the people.
It is the lack of leadership. Is the lack of leadership. That is the problem that this nation has. Lack of leadership. Okay. Not just any kind of leadership, visionary leadership.
Visionary leadership.
When we get it right in terms of leaders, then you will see that this nation will actually take its place, its place of pride amongst the committee of nations. Okay. Until then, we will still be struggling. And it's a potpourri of issues, because we talk about the leadership and recruitment process and everything, and so on and so forth. But in this era, in this issue of pump price of fuel, the solution to it is that sector should be deregulated in reality and let government hands up everything that has to do with the monopoly of that sector. Once that happens, in the next few years, we will buy fuel for about 100 naira per liter in this country, or even less.
Well, what John said is not rocket science. It's doable, it is achievable, and it can be done in Nigeria as the most populous black nation on earth. This is how far we can go on our package tonight on Matters Arising. We thank our esteemed viewers and our vibrant callers for making the program interactive. And I must reiterate at this point that all the comments made by our vibrant callers are their personal opinion that have nothing to do with the editorial policy of KAFTAN Television and its management. And on behalf of our producer, Ruben Okala, and the entire production team, especially the guys in the master control room that made the program possible, I remain yours truly, Macualey Hunohashi, saying good night and see you next time.
And I am John Okoro. Enjoy the rest of your evening and get ready for work tomorrow.
Get ready for work tomorrow. And as we say on KAFTAN Television always, remember,
imagine a beautiful world.